What's going on, guys? I'm feeling pretty good today. You know, rocking the Navy hat, Navy jersey, Navy pants. I don't have anything else Navy, so that's pretty much all I got. I got that stealth poster in the back. That's Navy, I guess. Uh, yeah. So today I'm feeling really great, and that's weird for me because I usually wake up and want to kill myself. So that's normal, I guess. Anyway, these glasses are douchey as fuck, so whatever. No, I actually wanted to review a game, ironically, because I've made a video in fucking forever. So I've been playing games nonstop because I've been wanting to review things because I've been wanting to put out videos. So I thought I'd review this game, Uncharted 4. Just came out, kind of. It came out a week ago. I'm a little late. It's cool. I'm usually late. That's what my girlfriend says, at least. Anyway, so this game is really fun. I would definitely recommend playing it. I will go ahead and just spoil the review. It's a 9 out of 10. Easy 9 out of 10. It is not the best game in the world, as what Polygon and everything else wants to say about it. It is not the greatest game ever created. It is not Game of the Year. It does have a lot of bad stuff in it. And I don't mean bad stuff like gore and blood, because every Uncharted game has that. But this one in particular, it's... Well, I'll get into it. There's small things that they'll patch out eventually, I'm sure. But when you're playing them a week after the game comes out, you'd think, hey, this is simple developer shit. You should be able to get it, but they don't. Anyway, so what's the story? Well, the story is basically you go and you're trying to find Henry Avery, which is a pirate. You're trying to find his long-lost treasure, his pirate treasure. And you find out that later on in the story that spoilers by the way, him and a bunch of pirates collectively grabbed all of their collective treasure and put it on an island somewhere and called it Libertalia. Libertalia, whatever you want to call it. It's this pirate utopia that was created on some island somewhere where pirates could be free from people invading them. So like a safe haven for pirates. Utopia for pirates. It's a fun game. It's an interesting story. I didn't give a crap about any of the characters at all. I cared about Nathan sometimes. When Elena was involved, which is his wife, when Elena was involved, I cared because it was actually like kind of cute watching the two characters interact with each other, like Nolan North and whoever plays Elena. I can't remember her name, but whoever plays Elena, they really bonded. It's kind of cool watching the motion capture interact and getting their faces exactly the way that they're supposed to be. And they look awesome. And they interact well. And it's actually, I cared about the story for that brief instant. And then I stopped caring, because every other character is just this long drone of, what's his name? Samuel. Okay, so you find out that Nathan Drake actually has a brother. His name is Samuel Drake. He's been locked up in a Panamanian jail for the past 15 years. Well, he's back, and there's this drug lord that broke him out of prison. And he needs this treasure to pay off this drug lord, because the drug lord heard him talking about it for the last 15 years. So you go off and try to find this treasure, and you go to Madagascar, and you go to Scotland, and you go to Ireland, I think. I don't know. I lost track of how many places you went to, but it doesn't really matter. Oh! Hi! The little dog came and visited me. How you doing? Anyway, you can sit up here, Suma. You can sit up here. Come up. Come on up. Okay, well, just walk back out my door. That's cool. Yeah. Gameplay-wise, what is the gameplay? I'm not going to ruin the rest of the story for you. If you want to finish the story, play the game. But that's basically the gist of the story. I want to get into the gameplay because that's really where the game shines, I think. Because although the game is very story driven and there's no linear paths, I mean you can pick up you can divert a little and pick up treasure and stuff like that, but you pretty much have to follow that path. There's two things that I found in the game that were very cool. One of them is the hint system. If you stand still for longer than 3 minutes, the game will automatically give you a waypoint marker as to where it wants you to go. That's cool because a lot of the times you will have absolutely no clue where to go because everything eventually, as you play the game, everything just kind of blends into something else. The cliffs that you're supposed to jump on eventually just blend in the cliffs that you're not supposed to jump on because they look the same. They just have outcroppings briefly 20 feet away. And you can't really see them unless you get really close to them. Usually you have to jump there to get them, and if you have to jump there to get them, you're probably jumping in the wrong spot, which means you're going to die, which means trial and error, which isn't fun in an Uncharted game because that means the loading times are fucking shit. And the loading times are fucking shit. So I didn't like dying. That being said, I think the stat on how many times I died was like 67, 66, 66. Ugh, 66. Ooh, I wish. Anyway. I got doggy right here. Oh, how you doing, Sumo? You want to say hi to people? You want to say hi? He's a Shiba. He's not going to say anything, but it's nice to think that he will. Anyway. So what else? So the gameplay mechanics in terms of shooting, it's okay. It's not anything to jump and joy about. It's just exactly what every other third-person shooter is. You get a jump button, which is an obstacle climb over button. You get a melee button, which is this button right here, the square button. The O button is what lets you mantle over things. That's what lets you take cover. It's what lets you roll if you want to take cover. If you want to roll to another cover, I'll get into that later. It's kind of broken. I'm pretty sure they'll patch it out later, but it's pretty broken right now. As a matter of fact, I don't think I ever used the O button in combat, just because it was just so finicky. It was so hard to do anything with. The same thing with the melee button. It's just, if I have a gun, why would I bother meleeing you? Especially when the enemies don't not pay attention. Like, for instance, just as a brief example, for instance, in like a game like Mercenaries, if I could fight, it's somewhere on this desktop right here. Mercenaries, PS3, PS2 game. Usually when you would go up and hijack an enemy tank or something like that, the enemies would stop shooting at you for that brief instant so that you could have that cinematic of you fighting with that person. So they wouldn't kill you in the middle of the cutscene. This game, they do kill you in the middle of the cutscene. So you could be fighting with someone and be a pixel away from dying, and you're just going to die because the people are going to keep shooting you no matter what happens. It doesn't matter if you take the guy hostage. It doesn't matter if you hold him in a headlock. They're still going to fire at you. They're still going to kill you. And there's no reason to fight the guy over a gun that you're probably just going to have a better time just shooting him in the head anyway. It's not worth the melee combat. I understand they wanted to put a melee combat mechanic into the game, and that's cool because it was in all the other Uncharted games. In this game, it doesn't work because the game is so fast-paced. It's so it tries to push the story forward so fastly, look at me, so fast that putting a melee mechanic in a game where every enemy has perfect accuracy and just wants to kill you as fast as possible really doesn't do that much. And not to mention, your life bar isn't that big. You can survive maybe 1 or 2 explosions, which is another broken mechanic, by the way, and you'll be fine. But then if you get shot one more time after you get hit by an explosion, you're dead. And it doesn't really give you much chance to rebound from that. You kind of have to just not get hit by explosions ever, which is really hard when enemies throw grenades about as much as you playing Call of Duty World at War. They just constantly throw grenades at you, which means taking cover is not really a thing, because if you take cover, they're just going to throw grenades to get you out of it anyway. And because they have such great accuracy, throwing grenades, getting behind cover isn't really a necessity because they're just going to blow you up anyway. Which means you are better off activating the checkpoint, letting the enemy spawn, back up about 50 feet, and then shoot them as they run through the door. That's what I do for every single enemy encounter that I could. Some enemies encounter, they're all over the map, and you just kind of have to pick and point and shoot and stuff like that. And that's fine. That's what I expect from an Uncharted game. I don't expect it to be a monkey shoot-'em-up thing. I don't expect that. So when I was able to do that, I was kind of surprised. I didn't exactly enjoy it that much. Other than that, the game's pretty fun. It's just there's little mechanics that just kind of make me go, I'm not a big fan of it. But other than that, the parkour, the mantling, that's fun. That's interesting. I was really interested when that happened. That's half the game. So half the time I was just like, oh my god, I'm loving this. That's just jump and you get picks and you can jump into the walls and you can hike up stuff. It's honestly fun. It's just the little shooting mechanics that they throw in there where you also got to shoot people while you're climbing up stuff. That's not fun because it reduces your life meter and it makes their life meter go up for some reason. I think it should be that your life meter should be more because you're vulnerable, and because they're not vulnerable and they're shooting down at you, they should have a less meter. But for some reason, their meter is way bigger and yours is way smaller, which means they can one-hit you from anywhere that they stand, and you can basically just fire at their head until you empty your gun, and then one of them is dead, and then another one takes their place immediately after. It's ridiculous. While I'm on the subject of enemies, the final boss. I'm not going to say who the final boss is. I'm not going to say how you fight the final boss. However, the mechanic in fighting the final boss is instantaneous. They give you a new directive on how to fight him. They say, here's how you fight him, and it only flashes for exactly 1 second. You get 1 second to learn this brand new mechanic they just introduced at the very end of the game, and you get 1 second to look at it, and then he attacks you. And he says, block left-hand attack, block right-hand attack. And there's no way to tell which way the attack is coming because he changes it in an instant. You have exactly an instant to notice exactly whether it's coming from the right hand or the left hand, and then be able to counter exactly. It is just a basis of trial and error. The only way I got past the fight, and I played that fight for 2 hours. Just that fight, I played for 2 hours. The only way I got past the fight, because there's no way to block the attacks, because the hitbox of the way you block the attacks is minuscule and barely ever works. The only way I was able to block the attacks was every time he tried to attack me, I blocked it, and then before he was able to attack again, I hit the start button and auto-saved. And then as long as I died the next time, it would just auto-save into the next attack. And every single time I blocked the attack, I would just auto-save and continually auto-save. I must have auto-saved maybe 20 times in just that fight. It's the only way I was able to get past him. Because otherwise, it just puts you right at the very beginning of the fight. You got to do it all over again. It gives you no opportunity to learn what you're doing. It is just a process of trial and error. And in a game where a guy is not supposed to be able to die, it's kind of stupid for a Naughty Dog to say, hey, you have to die 500 times before you can learn how to fight the boss. This isn't Batman Arkham Origins. I shouldn't have to fight Deadpool. I shouldn't have to fight Deathstroke 900 times to learn how to beat him. I should just be able to beat him. I shouldn't have to die over and over and over and over and over again just to learn how to fight the fucking boss that you created. It's the only boss in the game. It's ridiculous. It was a bad mechanic that they threw in right at the last second, and they just expected you to grab in the 1 second of tutorial they give you. I'm not kidding. It is a 1 second tutorial, and it goes, here's how you play. Now play. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. It's ridiculous. And at that point, I stopped caring about the game. Then there's a 14-minute cinematic of how the game plays out and what's supposed to happen next and where the story is going to lead to next and whatever. I didn't care after that because it was just like you basically threw a giant middle finger at me right at the very end of the game going, hey, you played a 14-hour game. Congratulations, here. Now fuck you. It's like, why? Why would you do that? I was having such a good time. Now you just introduced this bullshit mechanic that you don't explain anywhere in the game. They throw at you right at the very end of the game, and they just expect you to grab immediately and be able to beat him in one try? Fuck you. That's not how it works. You don't give me any reaction time. It's just ridiculous. And I didn't like. That's why it's a 9 out of 10. Because it was just the bullshit mechanics they threw at you. It was like, why? You only use them once too. It's not like they give you this mechanic at the beginning and they tell you to use it and continually use it throughout the game. They give you it at the very end of the game and they expect you to know it immediately and they expect you to perfect the attacks that he throws at you instantaneously. I don't have a reaction. I've been playing games for almost 9.5 years of my life. I do not have the reaction time capable to be able to look at the screen and go, oh, that's a right-hand attack. I have to hit. I can't do that. I'm not that fast. I'm not kidding you. It is instantaneous. Because, okay, fuck it. I'll go ahead and say, spoilers, he attacks you with a sword. It's a sword fight. You're basically fencing him. He'll go like this. Ready? Here we go. Throw you a sword. There's the tutorial. Smack, 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 smack. You're dead. I'm not kidding. That's how fast it is. And you have to be able to counter each one. And by the way, it's totally RNG. It's totally random. Every single time he attacks you, you have no idea whether it's going to come from the right or the left. I played the game for over 2 hours trying to find a pattern. There's not one. He just makes it up as he goes along. It's right, left, left, right, left, right, left, left, right. There's no way to know. There's just no way to know. You basically have to sit there. You'd be better off holding your hand over your head and just pressing the triangle and O buttons, hoping that one of them works. It's ridiculous. It's just so stupid. Other than that, the game was fun. It was legitimately fun. The story was nah. The characters were nah. But the story and gameplay itself was just it was just so cool. And when I finally found the treasure at the very end of the game, I was like, oh my god, I finally found it. It's like, god damn it. And it was such a relief. Even though it was like minuscule. It was so cool. I mean, like, I've never played a game like that where I was just like, oh my god, I finally fucking found it. Anyway, 9 out of 10. Absolutely play it. I guarantee you'll love it. As soon as you get it, you will understand exactly what I'm saying when I'm talking about these bullshit mechanics they throw at you. They need to either A or B. They need to either A, patch the game and give you more reaction time when the boss throws his sword at you, and able to, like, maybe increase your health meter so he doesn't kill you in 2 hits. Or, fuck that. Get rid of the swords. Get rid of the fucking fencing mechanic that they throw in at the very last. I'm not kidding. This is the last part of the game. It's the last time you put any input in. And all you do is block his attacks and attack him randomly. It's bullshit. Just get rid of it. Either totally destroy it and come up with a completely new ending, which I don't expect them to do, or get rid of it and let me fight him with my fucking fists like every other game in the game lets me do. I don't need a sword. I mean, I get it. You're fencing. It's medieval. We're fighting like pirates in a pirate ship. Ha! But it doesn't work. It's broken. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents on it. I'm a guy on the internet who posts stuff, and you probably shouldn't watch my channel, and because I don't update, and I'm an asshole, and I hate myself. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.